Hi Mary, you've had a bit of a struggle throughout life with some supposed genetic kind of illnesses, and I saw you hobbling around here on your little metal stilts, and I thought, well, it wouldn't hurt to sort of see if any of this stuff of mine could help. Probably biting off something much bigger than I can chew, but maybe you could just tell us what sort of difficulties you've encountered and what type of pain you're experiencing today when I met you.
Well, I think you're seeing the end point of a lifetime of trying to deal with damage and a genetic inheritance that hasn't been very kind. But the whole, the incident that really determined my life was when I was thrown from a horse a few times one day when I was 7 and ended up in hospital with quite a lot of bone injury, which wasn't diagnosed. They just said it looks like peritonitis or appendicitis, and we've got this wonderful drug called penicillin, so they put me on nothing but milk for a month and filled me up with penicillin and cooked everything into place, which I got away with until I got to my 40s. And when I got to my 40s, suddenly everything went into septic arthritis and tried to heal itself. And for the last 30 years it's been just struggling with bones trying to heal and trying to keep walking, and a lot of internal inflammation and operations to try and clean out all the mess from childhood.
And so when we saw you today, what sort of, where were you experiencing pain today when we caught up?
Mostly in my lower spine because the hip is very deteriorated. I was told to get it replaced 10 years ago, and I've been living in the tropics in Cairns and mostly out in the bush, and I've had no help with anything. The doctors have more or less refused to operate on my hip for 10 years because I've got so many allergies, including allergies to plastics. So just by not getting anything done, I've reached a point now where the hip came so close to collapse that I was admitted to North Shore last week, and they said that the hip is well overdue for replacement, but could still be replaced. So that's where I stand at the moment.
And what type of pain were you experiencing out of 10 in the lower back and the sacrum?
Well, for the last 3 weeks, as I've gone downhill very rapidly with the hip starting to collapse, I've been at about 9, 10 and 11 on the pain threshold.
Right.
It's been agonising. I just couldn't walk at all a couple of weeks ago. I've improved a little bit, but it comes and goes. It goes up and down, depending. I'm on antibiotics at the moment, which has caused a lot of fluctuation in the pain because of inflammation. But today, since you started working on it, I'd say that in the last hour you've been able to reduce the burning and the sharp pains in my hip and lower spine by about 45%, I'd say.
Okay, it's not bad for one treatment. And what about these knees?
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? That's just by putting some topical treatment on, that has reduced the pain, which was like a mild throbbing in the kneecaps from, I think it was referred pain, a lot of it coming from the hip, but it's a lifelong problem with hip inflammation affecting my knees.
We did the aloe and MSM cream on the left knee. What sort of improvement have we got there?
Well, I'm not feeling much at all in the left knee. Mind you, it wasn't as painful as the right anyway, and it was hurting mostly in bed last night for some reason rather than today. But I can't feel any pain at all in the left knee.
And the right way?
And the right knee seems to be very good too. If I move around, it may come back, but just sitting without movement, I've got no throbbing, no pain at the moment.
Could you feel that throbbing and pain before sitting in the sitting position?
Just slightly. It's like a slow throb just under my kneecap. It's not severe at the moment, but it's gone. That pain's gone.
Okay. And did you notice it when you stood up? Did you notice any difference in the knees then?
I didn't even think about it, but they didn't register pain. The hips did, but not the knees.
Okay, yeah, and on that back, I just did the APS, the action potential simulation, which is the mimicking of the nerve communication current, and that's an electrical device. And then I did the Bioptron light at the same time, the blue and the white for 5 minutes on the white and 2 or 3 minutes on the blue first of all, and then we did the electric acupuncture both on the lower back and on the sacrum, just for the records. Well, thank you very much for that, Mary, and we'll see what happens in the next few days as we play with these little toys that our medical gurus in the medical profession wouldn't even look at.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.